Guns and violence were not part of the plan in Rodenville near Elk, where the Branch Davidian Seventh-day Adventists settled in 1957. The group, not connected to the larger church, builds its beliefs around the second coming of Christ. But a power and theological struggle within the group caused a split and has led to a type of religious war over 77 acres.
And men, maidens, and women and little children of my family are supposed to die. So I'm the first, and when they get through with me, they're going with the rest of the world.
George Roden is for the time being in charge at Rodenville and believes his former religious friends are now out to kill him.
If we wanted to kill him, he'd be dead.
But Vernon Howell, who was arrested with 7 others and charged for attempted murder of Roden, said he was only out to find proof that would lead to Roden's eviction from the land.
We want to return to our land and continue on our gospel work.
I'm Stephanie Williams, and here is our top story. Live from eastern Bell County. Paul?
Stephanie, the hunt finally ended tonight with the discovery of Brandon Baugh's little body. After 3 weeks of uncertainty, his parents have been called and told about the discovery. A sheriff and his team actually found the dead infant late this afternoon. Tonight, as the medical examiner is flown by helicopter, forensic scientists comb this wooded patch just off this back road 10 miles east of Temple.
Unfortunately, we have discovered what we believe to be Brandon here in a shallow grave.
Brandon has been missing since January 21st. His babysitter, Kathy Lynn Henderson, has admitted burying the baby here. The question now is, did she kill Brandon or did he die in an accidental death as she claims? Stephanie, of course, that won't be known for a while.
Paul, you know, law officers were using a controversial map to search for Brandon, and it's the map that the judge ordered Henderson's attorney to release. Well, obviously this map was the key.
Right. Well, they were talking about that map this afternoon, saying that it was very rough and it acted like they didn't really have a specific area. But tonight, some Bell County Sheriff's Office people who live in the area and know the land a little better were able to zero in on it. They found the dirt road, went down that dirt road. They found the tree, they found the shallow grave, and they found that shovel. The shovel was lying on top of the grave, and the grave was just a few yards under a tree off of this road called Shortcut Road, about 10 miles east of Temple. Stephanie. Kathy Lynn Henderson is charged with capital murder using the new law. That new law has been in effect only since September, and little baby Brandon Baugh was born just 1 month later. Paul Greenway, Channel 7 News. Paul. Well, Stephanie, the City Council continues the debate tonight on the smoking ordinance, and they have plenty of people to do it with. In all, about 250 people have signed up to speak tonight. Now, a total ban was first initiated by Mayor Bruce Todd and Council Member Gus Garcia. The governor says the primary may be too far away from the November general election to generate a lot of voter interest. Republican candidate for governor George W. Bush voted in Houston. Today's primary is very important. It determines who will be on the calling card come November. The tornado may have tested the faith of some church members, but not enough to keep them from service today. And when the rain finally stopped, Lord, and when the sun finally came out, and we looked around at all the mess, we saw, Lord, that's really all it was just a mess. While some deal with the trials of the tornado in church, the town's mayor works on contacting the governor.
We faxed a letter this morning to the governor asking her to declare this a disaster.
Now, teams will go door to door during the next couple of weeks to look at the damage from the inside, and they say that's the only real way they can get accurate numbers. Stephanie. Well, Stephanie, police are still looking for their man who may be on the loose with a gun. Police are not sure how he got out of a 5-story state office building that they surrounded and searched all afternoon. It's at 18th and San Jacinto. The suspect ran from a Rollingwood police officer this morning and left the 1977 Monte Carlo at the front door of the State Employees Retirement Systems building. Police thought the suspect entered the building with a gun. Some 300 employees were evacuated. SWAT teams searched the building all afternoon. No luck. The suspect is described as 6'4", 280 pounds with receding blonde hair. Police records identified the suspect, who had apparently lost his license for driving while drunk. Well, what you're saying, Fred, before, that's right. Jared Carlson and Leslie Poole are set to go for a runoff on February the 12th, and with me now is Leslie Poole. Leslie, your opponent, Jerry Carlson, spent 4 times, maybe more than you did.
Yes, he did. I am thrilled.
Channel 7's Paul Greenway is out at one celebration. Paul, I don't see any green on you.
Well, Neil, old spells, that's probably why I'm not having the luck of the Irish tonight. But there is plenty of green to go around here. People are not only wearing green, but they're drinking green drinks as they continue to celebrate St. Patrick's Day tonight. It all started earlier today. Mary, the family has only been in Austin for a couple of weeks, but they are especially happy to be out of danger. Aisha Mamik, a Bosnian refugee, is glad to be in Austin today, making coffee for her family and husband who spent 6 months in a prison camp.
A lot of my friends died.
Paul, I think we ought to point out at the outset that the goal of this lawsuit is not to shut down the plant, it's to get some money back.
Well, that's right, Neil. Attorneys say the lawsuit should not damage operations at the plant in any way, that it's merely an effort to get money back as a result of that was spent as a result of mismanagement. Now, Austin already has $1 billion invested in the plant and its 16% ownership. Just when the South Texas nuclear plant gets a green light to start operating, the plant's manager, Houston Lighting and Power, gets stuck with a lawsuit.
After months and months of not having any operation of the plant.
City administrators in Round Rock say they haven't had any drug-related problems with city employees so far, that the drug testing comes as a result of task force recommendations and new city policy employee guidelines. Paul Greenway, Channel 7 News.
And Paul, I understand a judge actually restricted some of Henderson's custodial rights.
Well, that's right, Neil. I was in Georgetown today talking to County Judge Robert Skip Morse. Now, he's still handling custody issues on Henderson's divorce from an ex-husband. Now, just in November, he restricted Henderson's rights to visit her then 12-year-old daughter. Kathy Henderson may be giving authorities a reason to worry about the baby's well-being. In court papers, an ex-husband alleges she was violent. She allegedly broke windows in a fit of rage at her father-in-law's home. That after being upset about custody rights of her daughter. A judge restricted Henderson's visitation rights. The child reportedly was given antidepressants by Henderson and was afraid of her mother.
She had given the child a pill that the pharmacist said should have been a prescription pill by a doctor, or certainly under the direction of a doctor. So I determined that there was some possible harm to the child.
Now detectives hope Henderson hasn't harmed baby Brandon.
Right now, to the best of my knowledge, she's told at least 3 stories, and I'm not going to put any money in any of them.
But investigators and neighbors alike worry about Henderson's stability.
She had had some stress in her life that could have caused her to do this. I don't think she just lost custody of one of the other children. But it's difficult to evaluate.
She would be just fine one minute, and then you would come home in the afternoon and she would just be really hateful and vindictive.
Now today I also talked to Kathy Henderson's mother, Wanda Hancock, who lives in Elliott, a small town just north of Bryan College Station. And she told me that she was feeling sick and didn't really want to talk about any of it.
Is that iced tea with foam? That's iced tea with foam.
Restaurant owner Jimmy Blair gives his customers free beer. That's because in Burnett it is not legal to sell alcohol drinks in restaurants.
If you can buy it at a store, why can't you buy it at a restaurant?
But that's not the way members of the First Baptist Church see it. They plan to offer stiff competition when the issue is voted on in May.
We'll encourage our people to vote against it. When we have worship services, we'll do it through our mail-outs. We'll probably have I suspect at this point, we'll probably have a calling campaign.
More and more tourists are coming to Burnett these days. Just today, the Hill Country Flyer brought nearly 500 people to town, and some restaurant managers say they would like to be able to cater to their new customers.
Look, Jeremy, look at your mom!
And the Chamber of Commerce in Burnett knows the on-site sale of alcohol would generate new revenue.
A large number of these people would probably enjoy going into a restaurant and having a glass of wine. We have those requests every weekend especially in the summertime, they'd like to go get a cold beer.
Neither the church nor the restaurants want Burnet to become a saloon town, but that's about as far as the similarities go. Paul Greenway, Channel 7 News.